What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to talk about some YouTube tips for you guys. Now, I promised I would do some sort of series with this. We talked about kind of the state of YouTube a few days ago, but in this video, I want to talk about if you're making a YouTube channel for the first time in 2021, or even maybe you just started, you started it recently, you started a few months ago, and you're kind of just getting into it in 2021. What are the things you guys need to know going into it is the biggest thing I kind of want to talk about on this video. If you guys do like this stuff, and I would love to make more of these videos. I think I have a mind for YouTube. I know how YouTube works. I feel like I'm able to talk to you guys about these kind of topics. So if you do like this stuff, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. All of my other social media stuff is in the description below. You guys can follow me anywhere that you want there. And so let's jump into it. So the first thing you should probably know is it's not easy, and nothing is really gonna come very early on. Okay, and that's maybe like demoralizing, right? That kind of brings people down, but in all reality, things are gonna start extremely slow. Okay, the first couple videos you're gonna get next to no views, unless, I mean, I guess obviously if you're trying to pick like super engaging topics, maybe if you go more down like the clickbait route, like sure, you may get some, but in general, okay, you see people get, you know, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. Very doubtful that that's going to happen within the first couple videos that you do, or even the first 10, or even the first 20. It takes a long time, and a lot of the reasons it does take a long time is because it takes a while for people, you yourself, to figure out what it is that you do, and that's the biggest thing I can say. So, like, what should you do? How do you do it? You got to be yourself. And I know that sounds super cliche, rather kind of even, that's borderline stupid, right? Because everybody kind of says that. So let me explain. I'll get more detailed than I think most people will. You need to, number one, figure out what you're going to do, okay? What kind of style. This isn't for just gamers. This isn't for just people in the film and entertainment industry, right? That's kind of where I lie. I talk about movies. I talk about games. I talk about even controversial things with these things. I do like gaming help videos. I do a lot of theories, a lot of predictions. I talk about leaks and rumors, stuff like that. And to be quite honest with you, it took me forever to even find my way in that. I originally started this channel as literally a podcast. That's why it's called Podcast Now, is I would do a weekly podcast with a group of my friends, and we would just talk for like an hour. We'd split the videos up and we'd put it out. And I went through, this channel has gone through so many changes in the 5.5-ish years that it's technically been operational. The first couple years, I mean, literally were so experimental, so inconsistent that we didn't grow at all, literally for around 2 years. It took me 2 years to even get to 1,000 subscribers, which is way too long. If it takes you guys 2 years and you're doing consistent things, stuff like that, something is clearly up. But no, it takes a while. It takes a while to figure out what you want to do. Now, most times when you do join YouTube, you do have some sort of idea of what you're going to do going in, right? But to actually be able to feel comfortable and feel like, not like you own it, but like you own like a space in it, because that's what I do. I feel like I do own a space in the anything. If I talk about Scream videos, which I do, I talk about some movies too. When I talk about Scream, I feel like I have a place in the Scream community on YouTube, and not just like the people, but the channels. Like, I feel like I'm one of the channels that people go to get Scream content, Pirates of the Caribbean, gaming, PlayStation stuff, again, like leaks, rumors. Like, I feel like I'm that person. I try to do that with everything that I do, and so that's, I think, and that takes time, and that's what you guys need to figure out is, what are you gonna do? Now, people always say about, you know, when it comes to actually your content, niching down, right? Finding something very specific. Ultimately, I stand about as firm as humanly possible on the idea that you need to make what makes you happy. So if talking about everything, like 5,000 different topics, makes you happy, that's what you do. If talking about one thing, if you like Batman and you're only going to talk about Batman, I mean, I will not do that. I will never do that. And I have my own reasons. The biggest ones would probably be like burnout. And eventually you do drain the well of people in that community. Okay, I think that's a really big thing as well. Not everybody always thinks of. But if that's what you're going to do, then you do it. If that's what you love to do, you do it. But like, even for me, like, I'm a variety channel. And you go on any YouTube self-help video, okay, any channel that like gives you guys tips and tricks for YouTube, every single one will tell you to not do what I do on this channel, okay? Because doing too many topics basically confuses YouTube. It doesn't push you to like the top of, because again, like YouTube does actually work that your channel becomes known internally for something. So like if I only did pirates, my Pirates of the Caribbean content would actually be recommended and would be like higher up on everything because I kind of like own a bigger space in that community. Because I do so many things, it's harder for YouTube to figure out what is like my main thing because I don't really have a main thing, okay? So that's something that, honestly, if you are into doing like anything, that's something that you're going to just have to get used to, okay? I would say be consistent. So that's the biggest thing even that I didn't do, right? I'm trying to give you guys even tips that things that maybe I did and that actually worked, and also things that I didn't do. I was, again, not I tried to do like a weekly thing, but I was inconsistent with like what I would actually do. So like sometimes it'd be a podcast, then all of a sudden I would start adding stuff. I did like tactical gear equipment review with my friend, right? So I mean, we did like all sorts of weird stuff. None of it gelled, and it was kind of all over the place. Have a schedule. If it's you upload every day, one time a day, it's that. If you upload both days on the weekend, it's that. If you upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if you upload every other week, you don't have to upload every day. I am basically mentally insane. I do like 3 to 4 videos a day on this channel, which is probably way too much, but I do it anyway. So, but that works for me. Number one, it works for me. It's something that I like to do, so I'm going to continue to do it, right? Because you gotta be happy when you're doing this stuff. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. And also, the people that are on my channel know this by now. That's the biggest thing. Maybe it scares them away from subscribing. Maybe it scares them away from like hitting the bell because there's like too many videos. But everybody that comes to this channel, over time at least, knows what I do. They know, if you don't see a video from me for like 3-4 days, something is wrong on like YouTube's end, on your end, right? You're not getting the notifications because I am obviously doing videos because I've never stopped, okay? So that's something that, and again, like if you do it every other Saturday, well, every other Saturday, people are going to expect a video from you, and if you do it, that kind of builds that, not necessarily trust, but I mean that they know what to expect from you. So that is very, very important, and you gotta do it. And I would say another thing is being an individual, being unique, being yourself, however you want to kind of word that. And again, I know that that's kind of like a broader thing. It's like, well, what does that actually mean? You can copy things, okay? And you see people all the time, like, copy titles, copy topics, copy stuff like that. And I think, honestly, most of it, there are definitely examples of, like, stealing, and when you go into that territory, it becomes bad. But, like, everybody's on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube and you see a topic and you're like, you know what, I have an interesting take on that, I'll do the topic. You don't title it exactly the same thing that person has, but you can talk about the same thing somebody else has, as long as what you're putting out there is different. And I think that's so important. But and the reason, by the way, is because you're your own person, and that is so important when it comes to YouTube. Is number one, being confident. So I mean, you can even look back. I don't recommend this. In fact, I don't want you guys to do this. But like my early videos, like I've gotten, and maybe in like a bad way, I've gotten increasingly louder, and I've gotten increasingly faster in how I talk. Now, not everybody loves that, right? People all the time make fun of me for, I mean, not everybody, but you'll see people here and there say that I talk too fast, or say that I'm too loud, or say that I don't have a script and stuff like that. I mean, that's something that I've always gotten, I'll always get, right? But early on, I talked way slower. I talked kind of like this, where, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Like, I didn't really, I don't know, like, I think I cared. I truly do believe, like, I always had passion. I always wanted to talk about the stuff that I talked about, but I don't know, like, I feel good about where I'm at now. And again, that takes time. And again, that kind of goes in with that first thing, where it's like, once you kind of get in the swing of the stuff you're talking about, especially if you're talking about stuff that you're really passionate about, you are, I think, by design, it's just going to be better, right? Because if you talk about something you don't care about, you could probably hear it in your voice. You know what I mean? Whereas if you do talk about something that you actually do care about, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna actually be able to hear it from the person. So they kind of go hand in hand. So that's the first thing, being confident. I'm not saying talk as fast as me or be as loud as me. In fact, probably don't do that. But I'm confident. I really am, and that's not like a cocky thing, because why would you listen to somebody who's not confident in themselves or confident about why they talk? I think it's got a bad stigma around the world as the world continues to turn in its negative way, where people kind of look down upon those that feel confident about what they're saying. It's like, no, you really shouldn't. Why would you not feel confident? You know what I mean? Why would anybody listen to somebody who's not confident? And be like, why? Because there's nothing that you can actually get out of that. So that's part one of that. And then part two is being unique in that way. So again, like, I talk about leaks and rumors, and I'm pretty fast. I mean, I'm on YouTube every day. Like, I work, like, the whole weekday, like, all weekdays, okay, of the week. So I'm constantly on. I can get, especially, like, in my small niche. So, like, if I talk about something that, again, is kind of reserved to, like, 10, 20 channels, I could probably get that topic up before anybody, okay? I feel confident in that, but I don't need to. If somebody does something that I want to talk about and they beat me by a couple hours or even like a day, it's like, all right, well, that's fine because I have something, whether my title is different or whether it's just that I'm talking about, because I'm different than them. You know what I mean? I could be talking about the exact same gaming article as some other YouTuber that talks about gaming articles, and I could have a completely different take. And I think that's the unique thing, because if you don't have that, then there's no reason to watch. And I get that's kind of specific, right? The same thing, like even like an abstract example like cooking, right? Everybody has cooked everything on YouTube. We all know that, right? So if you're cooking like a rice meal, that rice meal has almost 100% been done by somebody else. So what do you have to do? You have to be unique. It could be visually how you shoot it, but again, like some people start on their phones, some people don't have mics to begin with, all this kind of stuff. Your quality may not even be all that good. So what do you have to do? You have to be different. That's it. I mean, yeah, eventually you probably do want your looks and the feel of the overall video to be different than other people's, but to start out, and even now, even like for me, like a lot of people do what I do. They show like gameplay clips and all that kind of stuff. But that's a common thing. There's not really all that much more you can do other than maybe show your face. You know what I mean? And everybody's face is different. But beyond that, it goes to the personality. Who am I? How do I talk to you guys? That's what's so important. That's why I think people, I mean, yeah, there's the haters out there, but I think the people that like me because I'm passionate, like the way that I respond to people, like the way that I talk, just something about, how I deliver things in my videos. And I don't get that by firstly not being confident, but I also don't get that by being somebody else. Because if I'm acting like somebody else, well, if I'm not doing a good job at that, they're just going to go to that other person, right? Unless I can act like somebody else and do a better job at being them than themselves, it's not going to work, okay? So those are, I don't even know how many that was, maybe 3, 4 things, but I think that's a really good starting point for you guys if you are just getting on YouTube, just starting what you need to know. So let me know in the comments any questions. I'll answer anything. So if you guys have any questions for me, would love to talk to you guys in the comments. If you guys really if the video does well, I'll absolutely do more of these videos in the future. Will be a lot easier most likely when I show my face. I'm going to do that at 50,000 subscribers, so we're getting there. That'll happen very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you like this stuff, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my social media stuff is in the description below if you guys want to support me in any of those places. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.